how many in this audience are actually in favor of gay rights? That's a huge majority there. The gentleman here, of course, is not, and I'm going to come back and get your views in just a bit. But let me put that to Rahul Iswar. Rahul Iswar, you have been in the forefront of the religious leaders who have been opposing gay rights, and you've been saying that this is actually something that is completely detrimental to Indian culture, and it will ruin the Indian family. You continue to maintain that position.
Let me say two things, before beginning. I'm a very conservative person. Second thing, I may be outspoken. In order to make the duff here, you have to be outspoken. In the name of freedom. Freedom is a very misused word today. In the name of freedom. There was an advertisement in UK where it is shown, it is jeans advertisement. I'm not against jeans. The advertisement, a girl is having physical relationship with two guys. That's advertisement. There was another advertisement saying of Guinness beers in which a girl is having a sexual relationship with three guys at the same time and saying, share your thing with 1, 2 or 3. And there have been instances of zoophilia. If in tomorrow in the name of freedom, we are accepting zoophilia or bestiality or having physical relation with animals, it's also, it's my freedom. I'll let Maneka Gandhi save the animals, but it's my freedom to have the thing with the animals. It's absolutely up to me. So please, my simple point is, please don't be blinded by the word freedom. As he said, we are ready to debate.
That's a good point. Let's have the debate. Shyam Benegal, but is it also time for us and perhaps for people like Gautam who are on the liberal side to understand that perhaps there is another point of view in this country which is not made up of like-minded westernized people?
Of course, there are different points of view. I agree that there is this kind of view. What is more, it's a very articulate and a strong view that you keep hearing all the time. But I also feel that, it's too simple, the way the debate has been put. It's not so simple. There are people who will accept homosexuality in private but will not accept it in public. There are so many such factors. You have to think of the whole complexity of how the whole thing is. And I personally think that for what the High Court judgment has done is really an exceptional piece of work, because it has suddenly told you, it doesn't automatically mean that the judge doesn't say that homosexuality is what you should be all involved with.
But it's reasserted constitutionality, as
exactly.
You were saying.
It's very simple.
Reasserted the constitutional freedom. Mukul Kesman, you had a point.
May I just say that, Rahul's argument is a familiar one. There's a particular style of rhetoric where you move from a specific instance to catastrophe. So, for example, the standard instances would be, if you allow homosexuality tomorrow, why shouldn't you allow me to have sex with my sister day after? If it's a question of freedom, and I'm actually particularly grateful to Rahul for the example of bestialism. Why wouldn't you do it with a dog at lunchtime if you did it with a man the previous day? The point is, there are two things I could say. One, literally, here we are talking about informed consent. Mm-hmm. Dogs generally aren't attributed the capacity to consent, in a sense.
But the argument, I just want to interrupt you, the argument is made is, if homosexuality was natural, why don't animals betray the same characteristics?
It happens all the time.
That's an argument that's made. That's an argument that's made.
The incidence of homosexuality in the animal world is rampant.
The percentage is very low.
Let me give you a
factual error.
None of us want to have 90%.
Very low. Factual error.
But can I answer this number question?
Okay. One final thing. It's not the case that you spring something on a society and everybody jumps up, as Shyam says, and say that we should celebrate this. That's not the point we're trying to make. What we're saying is that when you talk about freedom, and as Rahul rightly points out, freedom is not an unlimited concept. What we're saying is that most things will eventually be judged by a category of non-harm, in the sense that what you do, does it harm anyone else? So does incest lead to inbreeding, lead to deformed children? It's clearly not a good thing. Does homosexuality lead to something dreadful? If you can demonstrate this, what about orgies?
Yeah.
Orgies.
Yeah, orgies. Yeah.
I mean, between consenting adults, what would your difficulty be?
But what is the problem with an orgy?
Do you accept that?
If an orgy is happening,
but
let me get in there,
all the family members. This is the danger we are going in.
But let me just quickly get in there.
You are prompting it and taking it into a kind of an area that doesn't make any sense.
Let me say that 6 people having sex together, why this would be a matter of concern to Rahul in a private room is not clear to me.
No, but there is a legitimate concern. But there is a legitimate concern with family, isn't there? There's a legitimate concern with the breakdown of family, as Rahul was pointing out, as voices here as well were pointing out, that, you know, we have to be aware that in America there's anxiety about the breakdown of family. And are we looking at a situation where we're creating freedom in an imitative way of the West when we have our own strengths?
I'd like to point to something different. The High Court judgment is only saying that homosexuality shouldn't make a person look a criminal. It's as simple as that. Why are we jumping all over the place?
You know, you could actually make the same argument then for prostitution.
No, no.
What is stopping? I'm playing devil's advocate here. What is stopping prostitution?
I would like to answer the thing on
it's private and
prostitution.
consensual.
In prostitution, the unfortunate thing is the woman is the criminal. The man is never made the criminal. It's for the man that the woman has to do all that.
So can we legalize prostitution? Actually, you are playing the angel's advocate, not the devil's advocate. So can we can we legalize prostitution?